then I will go with early retirement. We speak about centers and all the things more. And we have good practice, but we have also bad practice in Holland, because our school will close in August 2016, and we hope to find a new buyer and maybe restart again. So in that way, not all the things went good in Holland. I'm also judge for the stud book for the mares. So in that way, I have also a relation with the breeding, and also I'm senior tutor for the FEI, for the coaching program worldwide. And in that way, yes, I know a lot about what happens in the world, and so also a lot of riding schools and centers in other countries. The Netherlands is a small country, and about 16.9 million inhabitants are in the Netherlands. So in that way, small country, a lot of people live on a small place. And in that way, 1 million people are interested in the equestrian sport. A lot of people in Holland like horses and the horse sport, all what have to do with. 450,000 horses we have in, and about this, the active riders. And the most riders ride for recreation. We see only 7% of the riders are only busy for the sport. Yes, so in that way, it's also important that that not only look to what happens in the sport. 58% rides in a riding school. So that's also for have no own horse, but they ride in a riding school. And we have a lot of events, and we were very successful on the World Equestrian Games in all kinds of disciplines. And what is also important, 1.5 billion euros go around in the horse business. So in that way, in Holland, there happens a lot with horses. This is a little bit the structure what we have, and in that way, the government is very keen in Holland. In that way, that he said, okay, not all the organizations can speak direct with the government. Only the sector advice committee can speak with the government. And in that way, to come in the sector advice committee, therefore you have to be in the sport, in the breeding, or in the entrepreneurs. Yes, they can come in the sector advisory committee. So it is not only the sport, what happens with competitions, but also the breeding, and also all kinds of people who have to make money out of horses. Stallion keepers, trading, riding schools, and also veterinarians and all kinds of people who belongs to this professional busy. Then the role of the Royal Dutch Equestrian Federation. They want to encourage people of all ages to practice equestrian sport in fun and in a fun and a responsible way, suiting to the rider's ambition. So in that way, the vision of the federation changed a little bit. They were not only busy with what happens in the sport, in the competition sport, but also to have more members, and I heard more today, also to have more members for the recreation. So in that way, that the numbers of members rise. Okay, then the future. That means that when we want to have a good sport, that we need also a high standard of facilities. And yes, I had to make a little bit, it was for me not so easy to make what is now a club, what is now exactly a center, yeah, what is a riding school, yes, and therefore I was very happy what Laura showed us. It's the same system in Holland. Yeah, in that way, you can have a riding center, and a riding club can be in a riding center. But you have also riding clubs who have no facilities. Yes, they have no centers. Also, there comes more recreation, less rules, more fun. More people want not to travel a lot. That's more local. And you see also that the customers ask more professionals. So in that way, for the education, it is also important that we have good professionals. Therefore, I ask, is this the future maybe for Europe? Okay, then we have the business of what happens in Holland. We have about 1,000 riding schools, riding centers. Yes, then there are a lot of stables where you can boarding your horse, 1,500. Then we have training stables, people who are only busy with the sport, who prepare horses for the sport. Yes, then you have riding clubs, and in that way, the riding clubs is mostly as local clubs. Then you have trading stables, a lot of people who earn the money with trading in horses, and also studs. And we have also a lot of people who have an own 1 or 2 or 3 mares who are busy with breeding. Yes, so that they do it not special to earn the money, but only for the hobby. And they hope to sell the foal, and in that way that they can earn also some money with breeding. Yes, last year there is a new center. This is our national center in Ermelo. That there is a cooperation now with the stud book. Yes, the Royal Dutch Sport Horse Stud Book. That's the biggest stud book in Holland, KWPN, and the Federation. And this part is now new, and this part is the office and the stables from the stud book, and the last part is the center from the Federation, where they can organize camps, but also competitions, national competitions, and so. So in that way, breeding and sport works in this way very good together on one national center. Other things about the horse business in Holland is that everybody can start his own commercial in the horse business. Yes, they need only yes, a little bit money. They can borrow money, but also they need their own money. There's no support from the government. Yeah, entrepreneurs have to make their own living out this, and the work have done by employees, not by volunteers. Yes, so in that way, it is an official job, an official. Now, how will you finance this business? 40 to 60% of the equity capital. Yes, and then therefore, yes, you need a good return what you do in your business. Therefore, it is good that you can listen to your customers, that you know what your customers want, and that you need a good entrepreneurship. So in that way that you know what happens in the business, in the market, yeah, and in that way the business runs in the Netherlands. Then we have a very good example from a riding school, but you can also say a riding center, because in this center there are 225 horses, 150 livery horses from customers stay there, 850 riding school customers come every week there for lessons. They have 60.2 hectares, 50 employees work there on this center, and they organized all kinds of things. So there is in a riding school, there is trading, there is you can eat and drink there something, there are events. Yes, it is one family who runs this company, and in this way I think this will be the future for the horse sport. Yes, that the clubs comes more in centers where all the things come more together, and in that way yes, every rider who competes, yeah, he can do it direct by a club, but you have to, if you want to compete, you have to be a member of a club, and the club is a member of the federation. Yes, what we saw also in other competitions. What we see also sometimes, and the difference between the amateurs and the professionals, that will be a little bit a problem in the competition sport in Holland, because the amateurs and the professionals compete together. There is no difference in the official sport, but some amateurs are not so happy that they have always to compete with the professionals. In that way, the federation has to be aware that they start not another federation only for amateurs. And in the riding schools, yes, the gap between what happens in riding schools and the official competition is also a little bit high. So in that way, the riding schools has a system of diplomas, and in that way, the federation is now busy also to work together more with the riding schools. In that way, that there is one start from grassroots till international level. Okay, I hope it's not too long. No, but clear enough.
Was perfect. Thank you for your presentation. Just a little patience. The questions. Pan Szewczyk, as usually, it's a question about. It's very difficult to explain, to translate this expression we have in Poland. There are the riders. They have a horse, and they belong not to the club. They belong not to any organization, any association, yeah. And they want to start and to participate in a competition. Okay. Even on a high level.
Yeah, okay. There are a lot of riders who are no member from a club. They have their own horse. They ride outside in the wood and all the things more. But if they want to compete, they have to be member of a club.
And what is your suggestion or your opinion about this system and the possibility to change it in Netherlands?
I think it is not possible to change it in Holland. Holland is a free country. A lot they hope to live with less rules, but to organize something, yes, I think it is necessary to be a member of a club to compete.
Thank you very much. Question here in the middle.
Yeah, nice.
Hello. Could you please elaborate a little bit on the riding schools? Is it so that those that rides in the riding school and the riding schools themselves is a member of the federation, or is the members of the riding school a member in the club and then in the federation?
No, it is possible to run a riding school and to be not a member from the Federation of Riding Schools. So in that way, it is total free. But okay, there is a Federation of Riding Schools. Yeah, they have about 400 members, but 600 members are no member of the Federation of Riding Schools. Okay. So it is free if you are a member, yes or no.
So there is two different organizations to take care of, one, the riding schools, and two, the clubs. Is that correct?
Yes. The clubs, therefore, the federation won't work now more together with the Federation of Riding Schools, yes, so that it comes in one line. But therefore, there are clubs in Holland. Yes, they are member from the federation.
Okay, thank you.
We have one question more.
I have one question for you, perhaps for Constance Popino, because you said that in your country there's no possibility to compete without membership in a club. So if the federations are an association, so it's an independent and voluntary organization, don't you think that it's some kind of discrimination for the riders who doesn't want to be a member of a club, because it means that you can't compete because you are not a member of a club, and the sport is some field of I don't know, but something what the state should I don't know how to say it. Something what the state should.
Yes, I can help you immediately. Because there is another thing where the federation is not so happy with, because a lot of riding centers organize training competitions, and these are not official competitions, and everybody can ride there. So there are a lot of professional riders who want to school their horses, so then they can school in every level what they want. They are not official competitions, but the riding schools organize that, and a lot of, especially in the winter, we have a lot of centers because we have a lot of young horses, and they have to learn also how to compete. And in that way, they fell not under the rules from the federation, but the riding centers organized that kind of wild competitions. So in that way, if you want to be a member of the federation, you can start in this training competition.
Okay, I think. Excuse me. I think we'll have. Sure.
I can talk also later. But a question: when you said in Belgium it's the same. In the winter you can compete everywhere, but there is a period that the athletes who has a license from the federation, they cannot go to this wild competition. Is the same in Netherlands, or no? Or they can also compete whole year there? No.
Yes. That's the rule. Who have to follow the officials, but there's such a market to compete that the federation cannot block this.
Oh, okay, but they are. But it's not allowed.
This is in the rule.
Allowed. It's not allowed. Okay.
Yes, this is the normal rule. What you said. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.